We love you, bud. You're a stud. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Congrats on the book. It is in stores today. It is out. It is released.
Yeah.
You say in the book that you did not want to write this.
Yeah, you know, because Jim, like, I went through like a year and I was doing pretty good. I was walking again. I was doing good. I was feeling pretty good. Then the idea of writing the book came around. And I was like, God, I gotta relive this thing, like word by word. It was quite the struggle. So, but I realized, you know, quickly that for anyone, especially me, to get out of my own damn way was a very important thing. And so to relive it, to recount it, to own it in a different way, word by word, was quite healing for me, but also was, because it didn't just happen to me, right? It happened to my poor nephew, who was holding my arm and watching me bleed out and all that sort of stuff. Yep. It's healing for him. And for my mother, who had to get that phone call and drive 13 hours through a snowstorm to get to me in the hospital and that kind of stuff. So there's so many, so when I get out of my own way, you realize you open up the avenue for what the narrative really is. It didn't just happen to me. It happened, heck, it happened to you as well, Jimmy. There's so many exchanges that happened. So it's the ripple effect of one event was quite expansive. And I got out of my own way. And heck, at the end of the day, I learned a lot in writing it. It was healing in a lot of different ways. And look, we know how this thing ends. We know how the movie ends. I'm here, right? So I can endure.
Thank God. My goodness. I mean, Jeremy, I read stories about it and I heard about it, but I don't know if I understood the actual size of this machine. Look at this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's like a tank.
Yeah, and what is it called again?
It's a snowcat.
It's
like a groomer that they use it in at ski resorts.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then you write in this that you actually got back on it the next winter.
Yeah, you know, it's like anything. You sort of drive. I go right in the eye of the storm of any fear or anything. I didn't want this thing to haunt me or own me by any means.
What'd you feel when you got back
in?
It
was no big deal. I know how to drive the thing. It was just interesting getting off of it because you have to step on the tracks to get off this thing. And I saw like little pieces of my clothing in it still, and some other things that I don't want to say. It was interesting to. That was just. But then I just kind of wink and like. I made it. You can't beat me. And I just kind of walked away. You know? It was just kind of a random. It's kind of like, you know, breaking up with your girlfriend you hadn't seen in a while, and you get back together, and you're like, yeah, you ain't that good looking, you know.
Thank goodness you have a sense of humor, because that's what you need, right? You write about some moments in your life here that kind of played a role in your survival. One is a breathing class, a Lamaze class.
Yeah. That was a thing that came up in writing and putting this thing together. It was I had the opportunity. I didn't think it was a great opportunity when I was 12, but my mom took me to a Lamaze class. She said, "Son, put down your cleats," because I did not go to soccer practice. Grab a pillow. I'm like, all right, where are we going?
What's going on?
So you go to the YMCA, and like there's all these ladies laid out on the floor on these like yoga mats, and we're doing like the Lamaze class. And so I'm teaching her they're teaching me to teach my mom how to breathe, all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the heck I'm doing, right? I'm just following along, like coloring inside the lines. But then they pull down this screen, Jimmy, and they play this movie, and it's a midwife birth. And then the woman is, you know, giving birth, and she's in the bathtub, and the water explodes and all this stuff. Now, I think it's beautiful now, but at 12 years old,
yeah. You don't forget that.
It's like a horror film.
Yeah, you don't
forget.
What's going on? You don't forget that movie. No. Yeah.
So it was quite terrifying at the time. But so I'm just going. Oh my God! I don't know what that was. Yeah, it's like a whale breaching. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So at any rate, so it ended up being like the most like valuable thing my mom ever gave to me was that invitation into that intimate moment. That a woman is giving birth and mitigating her pain and helping her, feeding her ice chips. This kind of thing was quite a wonderful, as her firstborn son, to kind of be able to do this with her. And it's my little sister that's being born. And I never forgot it. And then it ended up being something that was critical to me surviving on the ice in my accident. Because you could imagine,
can't even imagine.
You can imagine all the pain. There was so much pain that you can't quantify it in your brain. It's just sort of not panicking and breathing through it all. And then I had to force breathe because there's no reflexive breathing at this point because the rib cage is collapsed on the lung puncture, the eyeballs out, all this stuff's happening. It's pretty gruesome. So you don't panic, you know, like you see the eyeball, I'll worry about that later. I gotta get this. Literally, I'm joking about it, but I meant it like that. Oh, I see my legs all twisted up like a pretzel. I'm like, that looks like it hurts. I'll worry about that later. I gotta get my breath, right? So I kind of revert back to like I wasn't going to, I was, other than that, I was just moaning and groaning, huffing sounds to try to get air out just so I can get a breath back in. And then hence where then that's where the title of the book really became kind of imminent to my next breath because it was, if you can't breathe, I'm a goner, right? Anyone would be a goner.
Yeah.
And,
but you did it.
Yeah.
You survived. And
yeah.
It's an amazing story. And gosh, we're all so worried about you. Do you feel like, I mean, life has changed? Do you look at things differently, or is it every day, take it every day as it comes? Or?
I feel like there's so many things that, I mean, it's a few things. It's like nothing has changed. But then everything has. Like, I don't give credence or much value to like the white noise, I call it, like the things that just don't have value in my life. I oversimplify my life because it is just quite that simple. And like anytime I don't have any stress, I don't get any bad days either, right? It's impossible for me to have a bad day. Pretty awesome. Yeah. And now you don't have to get ran over by a snowcat to do that. But I think that's why I started to write the book. It was also important to me. I think there are ways to have that perspective. The few things that we do have control of in life, for all of us, is our perspective. And that is about it. We can barely control our bodies and our decisions half the time, you know, but our perspective is really quite powerful. And it's the thing, until you lose your mind, you have control of how you see and perceive things. And that's the most important thing, I think, for us to be able to do. And, you know, that's a big lesson for me to take away from it. It's a
lesson for all of us to learn. How you react to, to
and also how to react, how to recover. I didn't recover for me. I had to heal my family because it didn't happen to me. I tortured my poor family, my poor nephew. Can't unsee those images.
So there's a lot of almost closure for you and the family, kind of.
For sure.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the doctors and nurses and everybody. And you describe how bad of a patient you are in the hospital.
You're like, I was a terrible patient, you know. But you know, I can blame the drugs or not. No, I'm just a pain in the butt, is what I was. I tried to break out many times. You know, they handcuffed me to the bed because I kept trying to break out. And then, mind you, these are the slowest breakouts ever.
Because you can't move.
I never made it to the front door, to the door.
You're like, I'm leaving.
I'm
getting out of here. Here I go. You can't get me in. I'm out of here. I'm breaking out.
I had 9 machines dragging at an epidural. All these machines, they're all going off. It's like everyone knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was like, Alex, you got to pack up my stuff. We're getting the hell out of here. Like in the middle of the night.
Thinking about
they're trying to be quiet.
I also love, I don't love this, but the doctor said you could never run again. Not only are you running again, you're doing your own stunts again, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. That's a cool thing. It's an awesome thing. I was told I was never going to walk right again. That was pretty terrible news. But
Mayor of Kingstown, you're doing your own stunts.
Doing the own stunts and being able to do that stuff. It's a good thing. It's a great milestone.
Do you ever get scared doing any of these stunts and all these moves that you've done?
Oh no, there's only like one, because I'm pretty good with fear. But there was one time with Tom Cruise, of course, right?
Oh no!
You know, we do in Mission Impossible. There's this scene at the Burj Khalifa, it's the tallest building in the world.
Yeah.
And we're at the top of it, of course. And he's hanging out of the building on a couple of wires, and I'm supposed to be holding him by the ankle, and I'm in nothing but slacks, and the window's gone. And this guy's got a rope around like just a belt, and I go to lean out to grab Tom and to start shooting, and I look back, and the guy holding me is like on his phone, not even paying attention. I'm like, dude.
That's scary. That's scary right there. Get off your phone.
So I'm screaming at Tom, like, dude, if I fall, I'm grabbing something on you on the way down. Because it was so high up, man. You can make 4 phone calls before you hit the ground. So, I mean, it's that high up. It's crazy.
I will say one of the things that came out of this, you and your family started Camp Renovation. Can we
Yes.
explain what Camp Renovation is?
Yes, yeah, it's a foundation to give foster youth and disadvantaged youth a lot of opportunities, build community for them, consistency and continuity, very hands-on with the kids in the community in Greater Northern Nevada, spreading out to all of Nevada now. We're having a couple camps this summer season. Can't wait. And then the whole family's now gotten involved. Wonderful sort of reaction from the incident, the accident, whatever you want to call it. But we get now instead of like 4th of July having a family party, we now do a great sort of hosting for like 100, now it's 200, 400 foster kids this summer. And we do it continually, and it's a great organization, and I'm very, very proud to
Good for you, bud.
run it. Yeah.
Congrats again on the book.
Yeah, thank you.
My Next Breath is in stores now. Everyone pick up a copy. More with Jeremy Renner after the break. Stick around, everybody.